Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack how information and communication technology, or ICT for short, has completely, totally revolutionized the modern research lifecycle. I mean, we are talking about a massive shift here. We've moved way past that classic image of a lone scholar surrounded by dusty stacks of paper in a dimly lit library. Today, a researcher can parse literally millions of data points right from their smartphone while riding the subway, all within this lightning-fast, highly connected digital ecosystem. So let's dive into how this all works. Picture this for a second. You've just come up with a brilliant breakthrough hypothesis. Let's imagine you're a marine biologist, and you suspect that a sudden shift in ocean temperatures is altering local ecosystems in a way nobody has documented yet. You've got the idea, but how does that raw, untested concept actually transform into published, globally recognized knowledge today? Well, it doesn't just happen by magic, and it definitely doesn't happen in a vacuum. It requires a highly structured, digitally accelerated pathway. Here is our roadmap for This Explainer. We'll follow a single research project through its digital lifecycle, hitting the research revolution, gathering and storing data, uncovering insights, global collaboration, integrity and sharing findings, and finally, the future of knowledge. Okay, part 1. The research revolution. What's really fascinating is how information and communication technology is defined here. We're not just talking about having some handy apps installed on your laptop. It's a comprehensive methodology. It literally integrates technology into every single stage of the research cycle, from the exact moment you identify a problem all the way to the final dissemination of your findings. It's this overarching, interconnected system designed to aggressively enhance efficiency, accuracy, and accessibility. At the core of this methodology are 3 main pillars: collect data, analyze findings, and publish and disseminate. These 3 steps are the absolute backbone of the scientific method. And as we keep following our hypothetical marine biologist through this explainer, we're going to see exactly how ICT supercharges each one of these pillars.
Section 2. Gathering and storing data.
So, once you have your hypothesis about those shifting ocean temperatures, you need data, right? And a lot of it. Today, tools like Google Forms, Qualtrics, dedicated mobile apps, and remote sensor-based gathering allow researchers to deploy global surveys and track environmental changes instantly. Instead of relying on manual entry, these platforms capture the information digitally, straight from the source. It just completely streamlines the whole data collection process. Think back to the old analog nightmare for a second. Physically mailing hundreds of paper surveys to coastal stations, waiting weeks for the replies to trickle in, and then manually typing all those responses into a spreadsheet while just praying you didn't misplace a decimal point. I mean, the risk for human error was incredibly high. But by utilizing modern ICT platforms, researchers see a dramatic reduction in manual errors and a massive, massive increase in speed. You're getting faster, practically error-free surveys delivered right to your dashboard. But wait, once you actually have thousands or maybe even millions of ocean temperature data points, where do they go? Cloud platforms like OneDrive, Google Drive, and secure institutional repositories basically act as a digital fortress. They provide scalable and, crucially, collaborative storage for these massive new data sets, so you don't have to stress about a localized hard drive crashing and wiping out 3 years of your fieldwork. Your data is absolutely secure and backed up in the cloud. All right, Section 3, Analyzing and Uncovering Insights. Because, let's be real, staring at a spreadsheet with a million rows of temperature and ecological data is quite literally impossible for a human brain to process manually. Modern research relies heavily on incredibly powerful data analysis software. For statistical quantitative data, tools like SPSS, R, and SAS are the absolute industry standards. And for qualitative data, like, say, interview transcripts from local fishermen observing the ecosystem changes, software like NVivo and Atlas to High are complete game changers. This empowers researchers to process massive data sets and derive real insights that the human eye alone could never, ever spot. These ICT tools are essentially the engine of discovery. They take raw, chaotic, totally unorganized numbers and text, and they distill them into advanced statistical and qualitative breakthroughs. It's that thrilling building moment where the noise finally fades away, a pattern emerges, and the researcher can say, "Ah, there it is. There's the answer to my hypothesis." Section 4. Collaborating across the globe. Now, before you can finalize any of those findings, you have to know what else is out there, right? Digital libraries, JSTOR, Scopus, and PubMed give you instant access to scholarly materials from all around the world. In the past, if you needed a highly specific journal on marine ecosystems, You might have had to request it via interlibrary loan and literally wait weeks. Today, those geographical and temporal barriers are completely eliminated. The entire history of human knowledge is basically searchable in seconds. And because we are no longer bound by geography, we can work with anyone, anywhere, using real-time tools like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and Slack. A marine biologist sitting in Tokyo can effortlessly collaborate with a data scientist in London on a daily basis to refine their oceanographic models. This naturally fosters these incredible, interdisciplinary projects that, honestly, just wouldn't have been feasible 20 years ago. Moving on to Section 5, Integrity and Sharing Findings. Before anything goes out into the world, a researcher has to rigorously protect their work's integrity. We rely heavily on digital safety nets like Turnitin and Grammarly. These plagiarism detection tools scan billions of documents in a matter of seconds to ensure originality and uphold the incredibly strict standards of academic integrity. They guarantee that when our marine biologist's breakthrough is finally announced, the attribution is accurate, honest, and completely bulletproof. Once it passes those rigorous checks, it's showtime, time to publish. And modern publication is all about reach. We aren't just printing a few hundred physical journals anymore. By utilizing open access journals, institutional repositories, and even academic social media channels, researchers are exponentially increasing a study's global visibility and impact. A paper published in the morning can easily be read, debated, and cited by tens of thousands of peers by the afternoon. It's wild. Which brings us to Section 6, the future of knowledge. You know what's really fascinating? How this research feeds directly back into the classroom. ICT integrates fresh, cutting-edge research directly with pedagogy through learning management systems, or LMS, and MOOCs, which are massive open online courses like the SWIOM platform. So when a new marine biology discovery is published online, a professor can instantly drop that open access paper right into their LMS, making knowledge dissemination highly interactive and immediate for students everywhere. This entire journey we just walked through represents a massive leap forward. Look at how every specific tool directly impacts a phase of the life cycle, from using Qualtrics for faster error-free surveys during data collection, to analyzing with SPSS, all the way to using LMS platforms for interactive teaching. We've moved completely away from those slow, localized analog constraints into an era of unprecedented speed, accuracy, and global reach for every single project. And there's this brilliant quote from our source text that just hits the nail on the head. ICT in research is not just a support system, but a transformative force. It's not just about making things a little bit faster. It fundamentally changes what is possible. By embedding ICT into every single stage, collection, analysis, collaboration, and dissemination, we accelerate discovery, we democratize access to knowledge, and we ensure transparency on a truly global scale. So, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. As this digital ecosystem continues to evolve at breakneck speed, and as these tools continue to endlessly accelerate the pace of our discoveries, what will the next generation of knowledge actually look like? When AI and even more advanced global networks are fully integrated into this life cycle, how fast will the breakthroughs of tomorrow happen? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.